I think the perfect, like the Miller brothers, we had them do, Sean and Archie Miller, we had them do something the other day, just breaking down the last 4 minutes of a Kansas basketball game. And I think the to me, the proof of what makes Bill Self such a good coach and the proof of why he's doing such a great job with this group is the fact that they've won the last 3 or 4 games coming from behind, executing late down the stretch. They were down 5 with 2 minutes left in the first overtime in this game. It's unbelievable what he's been able to do with this group. I really don't think we can overstate how impressive of a coaching job this is.
He's so good. I don't know what else to say. He's ridiculously good.
It'd be even more unbelievable if he could get his team to buy in defensively. I know we're singing Bill Self praises right now. Yeah, that's great. But part of coaching is also getting guys to buy in on both ends of the floor. So got to make it happen. Hold the greats to a great standard.
What are you going to do with Dave McCormick? You know what I mean? Like he's David McCormick. He just kind of is what he is.
You can't put him in down the stretch. The last 2 games, in the last 2 minutes, we've gotten a deep 2 from David McCormick with 20 seconds on the shot clock. And today he tried to goaltend a shot that was obviously going down. Don't even know if it was going in. So that's just a situation. You just can't. You got to put the guys out there at the end of the games that you can trust to do the right thing. And I don't think that he's the guy to do that. And that's no shade to him. Some guys just aren't those guys that can be in with 2 minutes left in the game. They're not there mentally.
I mean, he's David McCormick. That's what I'm saying. Like, he is what he is. And I think the fact that you say he is what he is with David McCormick. You say he is what he is with Remy Martin. You say he is what he is with DeJuan Harris. Like, those, to me, those are the guys in the most important positions on the floor, especially for a Bill Self team. T.O., with how much he wants to get the ball inside, how much he schemes touches specifically for his big guys, and that he's doing it without those 2 positions. It just that he should not have the record that he has right now in the league that is as good as this Big 12 is. I think we should it's that simple.
No, he's the king of figuring it out. It makes it shocking to me that McCormick hasn't been better. And we've talked about this. There's not a coach in college basketball that's better at getting creative post touches than Bill Self. And yet McCormick has still struggled to do it. And the problem with their defense.
And there goes the ghost of Fog Allen to come down on T.O. for cutting Kansas and then trying to praise them again.
We lost them. I mean, look, what they've been able to do this season. I know I'm kind of like saying this over and over again, but what they've been able to do this season is just not something that should be overrated. Is he back? T.O.'s back? Are you here? We can't hear you. You're still muted. Unmute your mic.
I don't know how to sign. T.O., are you there?
Hey,
blink twice.
I don't know what happened. My Zoom just shut off. But sorry, I don't want to interrupt you guys if you were going there.
No, go ahead, because you stopped in the middle of your last conversation, so you might as well continue your point.
No, I was just saying, like, if like Mitch Lightfoot rotates a little bit too early, then he's giving up something else, like that rim protection level where they had a couple of years ago was just it's just not there. And it means a lot whenever you're pressuring the ball like Kansas does.
Yeah, 100%. Udoka Azubuike is not walking through that door.
No.
And hey, look, I'll go to my grave saying this. That Kansas team, I think the narrative of that 2020 season was there were no elite teams, right? You remember that, how we talked about that all year long, kind of like what we're doing this year with this season. That Kansas team took a step forward. That team was elite by the time it was all said and done. Udoka Azubuike was the perfect 5-man for what Bill Self wants to do. And we all thought David McCormick was going to be that guy. And he looked like he could partially be that guy for the second half of Big 12 play last season. And you know what, Carter? He ain't that guy.
Yeah, so it's one of the biggest themes of college basketball. I always try to make sure they should feel okay saying that sometimes it is okay to admit that a guy just isn't that guy. They just aren't that. And that's okay. That's who they are as a person. That's who they are as a player. Move on, accept them for who they are. If you expect David McCormick to be at all Big 12 center, you're just going to be stuck out here wishing and hoping. He is what he is as a basketball player. That's not a bad thing. You just got to be able to get the most out of him. And I think Bill Self is trying to do that. But McCormick also has to meet him halfway sometimes and help him out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got some more people joining the stream right now. Just real quick on Texas Tech. Tio, give me your biggest takeaway from watching this game, from watching them this season. Where do you rank them in kind of like the Big 12 hierarchy? How good do you think this group is?
Man, that Big 12. I think right now, in my mind, just off of looks only, they're probably the third best team in that conference. And I just benched Kansas, but Kansas is also 17-2. But Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, I think they're right there at it. And the thing that impresses me more than anything is how well they defend. And the fact that Terrence Shannon and McCullough they combined 2 for 21, and they were still right in the game, only lost by 3 points. I think that's huge.
Yeah, and they still found a way to score tonight. I mean, Bryson Williams put on his best Akeem Olajuwon impression tonight. Put the Kansas front court in the blender. So credit to him. That was a great performance. But I mean, they still were able to put up points right now without their stars performing. So it's just a whole nother level they can tap into. And then you just have a great base with this Texas Tech team because you know what you're going to get every single night when you throw them out there. So they start off in a great position to win the basketball game. And if they can get some things offensively and get some stars to make some plays, they're always going to be in it. So they're in that conversation. They're a top 3 Big 12 team.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too, and this
right
is
there.
something. Yeah, another thing too. This is something small, but even when Terrence Shannon has a bad night, like Kevin McCullough has a bad night, Bryson Williams steps up. Kevin O'Banner, I mean, that guy, he was a big time scorer last year at Oral Roberts. Like, you can have different guys step up to you, and that's the depth of how they can score. Obviously, you want your guys to be your guys, but they still have multiple options there.